Hey everyone, welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John. We post 3 videos a week. Go and click subscribe and check out asart.space for the audio and video links. So Nick got me to splurge through binge watch the entire series of Raised by Wolves.
In 9 hours.
No, not in 9 hours, but just in time to get the season finale. We did a recap of the last episode. Go and check that out. If you haven't seen the series, definitely do not watch this video. We're going to talk about all kinds of spoilers, but also this is all about theories and crazy nerd talk of where we think the series might go from here since season 1 is now done. And so with that, let's get ridiculous. All right, Nick, so
ridiculous. Isn't that a spell from Harry Potter?
We can jump wherever you want. We'll just, as they come to mind, talk about things.
So let's talk about this mural first. Yeah. Like, I just think it's so interesting. We have it up right here so we can like look at it.
And we're talking about the last episode when what's the kid's name? Paul goes into the cave. He sees all these type of things. So Ridley Scott, this is not his series, but as an executive producer, he loves cave paintings and seeing stuff. And in this, we get some cave paintings. And I didn't pay any attention to it, but Nick paused on a particular one, establishing shot of the cave paintings. And what do you think you see?
I don't know. To me, I think I see the planet with snakes. Mm-hmm. Like you see all the swirls and stuff like that. Yeah. You see a spaceship leaving, and it's with like 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 eggs, right? That's 9, right? Yeah. 9 eggs leaving with 2 robots, right? Or 2 people. 2 people. It might not even be robots.
It's almost exactly a pod like it was coming from Earth to here. Mm-hmm. So your theory on that is?
So what if the Neanderthals that were on this planet, because that's what we saw with the skull and stuff, what if they got sick of fighting snakes, hopped on a ship, and flew to Earth? Like an advanced civilization. Because think about it. Because like, remember how like the Mithraic, I believe, I don't know, I think that's what it is. Remember how they were like, we don't know where we got the instructions to build the robots. It was like, it was embedded into the scriptures and writings and stuff. So what if this culture went to Earth to escape it? Then they end up destroying Earth, and then they come back, kind of thing, you know. So
I didn't think about that because that is a possibility, and that's something that Ridley Scott, at least, again, this is written. The majority of the scripts are written by another gentleman. I'll pull up his name in a second. He hasn't dabbled in too much sci-fi, but it did say in his personal life, and obviously you don't take this for like why we're going to get in the story, but he was raised Catholic and then he's not really practicing anymore. So you get this idea of atheistic society and religious society, maybe tied to his experiences growing up a little bit. But so when I saw this cave painting, I was thinking, are they documenting their history and how they got here? Okay, we were on another planet. It became unstable, and maybe that's the swirls, and they're leaving, and then they go to where they are now. So that could be interpreted in one of many different ways, and obviously it's meant to be able to be interpreted different ways. But
it almost looks like that's the solar system, like our solar system, and the sun, and there's only one moon. Where it looks like there's 3 moons on the other one.
So we'll put this up on the screen, obviously, if we haven't already. But it's interesting just trying to get the history behind. And sometimes when you have a series or a movie, you don't want everything explained. So whether they're actually ever going to explain this or not, my other thought was that, other people have come here before, and maybe these are the Neanderthals and everything we're seeing. So people have tried to come here before under similar circumstances, and whether it was from Earth or not, their ideas failed because they're now basically, gone or devolved or whatever it is.
Do you think Saul's real? Their god.
Soul?
Soul. Did I say Saul?
Soul. So Soul is kind of the Mithraic, right? That's their god that they worship, and clearly there's something in there because that's, like you were saying, that's where they got their technology and how they figured out how to build all these things and the technology, and that's how they made the necromancers and things like that. So there's clearly something intelligent in there. But if there's a god on this planet or not, it's very interesting. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, your theory does kind of sound a little bit better because they were saying there's going to be a prophecy, they're going to land on this planet, there's going to be a pentagonal structure. So the series dives a lot into, okay, the atheist people are saying we got ourselves to this point. This is what we did. Whereas the religious people are saying this happened because of soul. This happened because of soul. Where it's like, okay, you see what you want. If you don't want to associate it with religious stuff, you don't see that. If you want to see it and associate it with religious stuff, that's what you see. And that's obviously the main kind of theme of this show, of course. But is there a God on there or not? I think they're probably going to leave that vague throughout all the seasons we have, because that's the question that is probably going to keep people watching. This is what Ridley Scott dove into in Prometheus, obviously, deeply. And again, this is not a Ridley Scott written production, but he is the executive producer. He's probably the biggest name on this whole production. So he's probably going to have more input and more weight than probably other people would.
True.
So what do you think?
I think the snake intelligence life form kind of orchestrated all this. Like even to the point where he knew like he needed to feed on something. So by like almost like sending directions to this planet. I don't know. I just feel like he's so advanced and humans are not that advanced, it sounds like. Because even like they can maybe update robots and stuff, but they don't seem too handy. The only handy person we've seen is the creator.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think the snakes manipulate memories and thoughts to get what they want and all that thing. So they can read people's minds, and I guess they can read programs' memories once they get in. So they're almost like they can also tap into computers too, which is very like it's like it's like the perfect evolved form between like robots and humans, I guess, right?
And so we have to go back to, okay, the simulation, did this intelligence just somehow get into the simulation, or was that planted on her while she, because it's like when you're dreaming, sometimes outside influences this is almost like Inception, where outside influences can go into your dream. Like, did that simulation actually put that thing inside of her, or while she was dreaming, did something happen outside? Because remember, they said her senses are completely, so she can't respond. Did that happen to her while she was?
Yeah, it's interesting. Did that scene happen? I can't remember, but did that scene happen when they were trying to blow her up? Or was that a different scene?
That was, I think, now that you say it, I'm not.
The snake for sure just wanted Mother alive, because he obviously wanted to rebirth himself through Mother or something like that. I don't, what I mean? I don't know if it's him. I don't know if that little snake is doing it, or if there's even a higher power that's controlling, and the snakes are just, it's like the little minions or whatever, big minions now, I guess. But it's very interesting because, like, obviously he shouted out to Marcus to not kill Mother when he was going to kill Mother. He wanted to break all connections with Mother, with her children. That's why they almost, like, they sent Talia in to try to get what's his name to kill himself. What was the other boy's name? You have Saul, and then you have
Hunter.
Not Hunter. The one that they live with. The boy, the last one of the original 7.
Campion.
Campion. Thank you. So Campion, like, remember she was like telling Campion to kill himself. And Campion was like, that's the main connection that Mother has and Father's have, because that's like their child, right? They adopted the other ones per se, but like Campion's theirs. And it was so weird. She was like, join us and die, blah, blah, blah. She even left the rope hanging and all that stuff. Where obviously the higher power wants Campion gone. So it's very interesting.
The bummer part about this. So this is my...
And also, they really wants the atheist gone too.
Yes.
Saul's mother. Because he tried to get Marcus to do it with like remember he gave him visions that he was going to stab her.
Yes.
Or something like that. And now, and then
now she's
Paul
shot.
went boom and shot.
So we're going to dig more into theories, but here's my concern with this theory, with this series. So
theories or theories?
The series, the theories in the series.
The theories of the series.
Ridley Scott, again, didn't write all this, but I think he has significant weight. Prometheus, I thought, was a very fun movie. It delved into theology and religion and, where do we come from? These
Michael Fassbender.
These questions that everybody has. And Michael Fassbender was the one that really talked about a lot of that stuff. And then we got the next Alien Covenant, and they abandoned a lot of those theories. And that movie did not do well, so we're probably never going to get that continued. Is this really Scott's way of being able to not be the director, but be able to continue this story, or try and jumpstart interest again in Aliens, or we're going to get more Alien movies? Like, that's...
Never know with all the streaming services out there.
Now, if you ask me, would I want an Alien series? Yeah. So maybe this is kind of the bridge to that, because they clearly tried to
Snakes and aliens.
Snakes and aliens. Aliens on a spaceship, not snakes on a plane. But
snakes on a spaceship.
Snakes on a spaceship.
We got that.
Yeah, we got snakes.
Looked like he was flying it there for a second too.
So this is really Scott stuff. You get a very strong Blade Runner vibe from this, and okay, at one point, do AI develop emotions to where they're not just AI anymore. That's the whole arc of mother and father, especially in this last episode. They learn jealousy and things like that.
Yeah, they learn jealousy, envy, hate.
And then they have love.
They just don't know how to forgive yet.
But then we also...
Do humans forgive?
I still hate Nick. But then we also get into this this Prometheus grounds where it's all about theology and things like that. So they're covering those main theories, and whether...
Even though Mother really, towards the end, really was a believer.
Yeah, so she's even
the father was like...
And that's the thing as well, is even androids are developing faith and prayer and things like that. And
I mean, how cool was Father Story's arc? Where it's like, no, we make our own path.
Yeah.
It's like, our mission was for these kids, but now that failed, it's like, we should make our own path now. And I thought that was like so cool. He had a couple good lines. I kind of didn't like when he was trying to figure out what was going on with the people.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no,
think it through. It was better just the scene of him acting it. Like, we saw it in his face and emotion. We didn't need to physically see all that. But anyways, he did such a fantastic job. Mother and father, by far the strongest actors.
Well, it's funny because Nick had watched the episode before and I was watching it, and then I'm just thinking, unless you see the pod go into the lava, they're not dead. Because, like they always, people in movies, they always cut away right before and then they end up coming back. That happened in Alien Covenant as well, of course. So you see the pod hit the lava, I go, well, they hit the lava, they're dead. But then they come out the other end. And
just like Gandalf.
And Nick was just teasing me. He goes, well, they were the most interesting things in the show. And then as soon as they pop back out, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, not only is that cheesy, but okay. Well, thankfully, we still have our two best characters.
We don't know if they're alive. They freaking dropped thousands of feet from
after they fell, yeah.
I mean, if someone finds them, maybe Hunter has to repair them or something. Because his IQ is over 9,000.
Freaking bajillion.
What was the other theory? Oh, yeah. So the Neanderthals, right? Their faces look like there was something wrong.
It looked like Elephant Man a little bit, yeah.
And
that could be radiation, yeah.
But I wonder, because they were like, let's not tell the children, because they think it was from them eating from that planet.
They think it was what?
Like the mother and father thought because of the food they were eating,
No, I think they were saying so they were thinking, okay, the humans devolved, and they're those creatures that are running around that they ate, the kids ate. So they were basically eating, devolved. I think that's what they meant. Did you get that?
I guess that's right. I just thought maybe too that, it's something along that lines where they didn't want to tell the kids. But do you think that's them though? You think that's the same thing as the creatures? I
think so. I think you continue to devolve into that. And what was interesting too? So we see those cards, those tarot cards, right? Those appear all over the world. And it seems like those robed figures are the people that have those. So, I mean, again, this kind of makes me think that they had another expedition, kind of like you were saying, which was weird if it was a different planet because they had the same technology. I mean, they never delved into, in this series, are there other planets that are all connected aside from Earth that they, maybe this came from another planet, or
it looks like mother and father could access any computer. Or like, remember how she looked at the cards and she got like a flashback?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So like I don't know, the technology has to be connected, right? Because like you can't like say if we go back in time and have a USB-C drive, there's no way a floppy disk reader is going to read it. You know what I mean? Like you have to make sure.
Again, the only downside to this series that really bothers me is we're getting MacGuffins and red herrings all over, unless they decide to develop those ideas. If they had said, I wish series would do this, to say we have 4 seasons of content written. That lets you know that they have an arc already thought out. Whereas series like Westworld, season 1, maybe the best season of entertainment I've ever seen. And then after that, it's like they had to go back to drawing board. All right, how do we connect this?
Well, you said you liked the last season of Game of Thrones the best. I'm just kidding.
John did not say. But so anyway,
it's very interesting.
If this came from a book, I would be a lot more confident how the future seasons were going to be, because we have an arc already laid out, or at least like a strong basis. We would talk about The Boys. We love The Boys. If you guys want a completely different type of story, but very entertaining, go check out our Boys reviews, and obviously check out The Boys as a series on Amazon Prime. If I knew this had a strong comic background or novel that it was based off of, I'd be a lot more confident than this just being written, and probably written a season at a time. This has been renewed for a second season, so that's good to know. But again, are they just going to make up stuff from here now that it's renewed, or did they already have this plan out? That's my biggest concern.
Yeah. What did you think of the pits?
Oh, so this is the other movie thing that really, so I don't think you've read the book Dune, right?
Nope.
The book Dune is considered a major sci-fi accomplishment. They have an older movie. They're remaking it. The guy who directed Blade Runner 2049 is directing the remake that's coming out in the next year or two. And I've seen the movie a couple of times. I've only read a little bit of the book. I'm actually in the process of reading that. But they have these crazy like sandworms on there. I almost feel like, so Ridley Scott in an interview I saw one time where he was talking about Star Wars. He was saying, he goes, yeah, like Star Wars was hugely influential to me. It's like there was this, everything was used. It wasn't this clean, 2001 A Space Odyssey was. And so then he went on and made Alien where it was even more beat up. And so he took that idea and kind of, took it in a different direction. I feel like this has Blade Runner in it. I feel like this has Dune in it. I feel like this has
it's like all of his fingerprints on it.
Yeah, it's all the things that he likes and is drawn from that he's done, all wrapped in this. And again, I can't say that completely fairly because this is not written by him, but I think it's
inspired.
It has a lot of his stuff in it. So you were asking about the holes, the snake. I'm assuming that snake at the rate it's growing are what those pits come from.
They make the holes.
They make the holes, yeah.
And that's how they can travel faster.
That's kind of like what they had in Dune as well, as these sandworms and things like that. But you were asking what I think of them or what my theory?
I mean, yeah, I was just asking, like, do you think like humans will be able to transport faster by jumping through the pits?
I mean,
or do you think they're gonna die?
The crazy part is the holes went straight through out to the other side, so it's like they went all the way to the middle. I really don't know what's going to happen with the snakes. It's interesting. I mean, I like your theory of like, so I can't remember if this is this video or the previous one when we did the episode recap.
We can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just in case.
So
I think it was on the recap.
So we're seeing this crazy snake leech that almost chest bursted but came out, and Ridley Scott did the exact same thing in Alien Covenant and Alien, chest bursting out the mouth. And it looks almost exactly like the first thing they see in Prometheus. Yes. It was a suction, like a leech type mouth. Leech. You remember that one that breaks the arm and then goes? That's the first type of thing we see in the Prometheus world of that. So again, is that crossover? I don't know. But then also
the intelligence behind it, right?
Yeah,
it's almost like how the snake was guiding the whole story, right? Like talking to people.
So that's the one other thing about that. So there's another famous film that I have not seen yet. I started to watch it, but it's like 4 hours long. It was kind of late at night. I started watching. I'm like, I'll watch this. I didn't realize it was 4 hours long. It's called Solaris. It's a Russian film. They remade it in the U.S. with George Clooney, but it's not nearly the length. But it's supposed to be one of the greatest science fiction movies ever made. And and this is not getting into spoiler territory. It's in the description for the movie, but basically scientists find this planet and everybody's kind of not going crazy, but having all these weird visions and stuff and dying. And the planet itself has a consciousness and it has a way of communicating and it can kind of mimic what it's seen before. And so
kind of
like could be drawing from that as well. I mean, there could be all this stuff, and that's where the great stories come from. Is you borrow. That's the hero's journey that's been well established by Joseph Campbell. Is you borrow and put together and piece together and make something new out of it.
Yeah, it's almost like evolution, right? Snakes evolved to a point where they can communicate telepathically
and fly.
And the Neanderthals evolved to a point where maybe they had to halt their maybe because the snakes were starting to take over and confuse them and control them, and they noticed like something's up here with this planet, we got to get out of here, and maybe that's what led to them going somewhere else to get away from snakes. And
it could be like Nick was saying, a good theory like that the snakes just ran out of food sources, so they kind of for the most part went extinct. How they found their way into the android belly, we're not sure about yet, but that's part of it. But
it's almost like makes sense. Maybe it recreated itself. Maybe this is even an advanced form than before. Because if it's like AI, or not even AI, but just like this intelligent being on the planet or whatever, maybe it knows a way to do computer stuff and whatever to reprogram stuff. Because she said something downloaded into her.
Yeah.
So like there was she got an upgrade or something,
Yeah, and that's where it gets kind of really weird with the whole simulation, because she thought it was the creator. So whatever, put the alien thing in her was mimicking him. So somehow it knew all about her memories, but then it also downloaded the data into her, but it was biological. It got weird, okay? And that's one of the downsides, I think, is this series started off, and I read just a couple reviews after. I didn't like this after episode 1. I didn't like it at all. And then it started to get better. but people are saying it's a throwback to simple like 60s science fiction. It's, you know, it's not this crazy convoluted thing. And the series in the last 3 episodes got very convoluted very quickly. And I think for a lot of people that might take away some of the approachableness, you know, of it.
But how cool is it we have a full sci-fi show?
Yeah.
On a streaming service. Because like even the Star Wars show we got was more of a Western than sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like,
still really cool, but yeah.
But it's not
Western,
like deep like sci-fi.
This is hardcore sci-fi. This is, you know,
it's true sci-fi.
Yeah, you have the, you know, the ships that look just like these blobs and stuff like that. This is true hardcore sci-fi. And it's cool because a lot of people in theaters were afraid to make hardcore sci-fi because it wouldn't reach the interest of a larger audience. So they had to make it more space drama like Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
That did very, very well. I mean, I know that 2001: A Space Odyssey is this huge epic thing that people regard as this great thing. I don't know how that did in theaters, but you only watch that if you're a hardcore science fiction fan. You know, and that's with a very well-known director behind it. Whereas this, you know, thankfully, people like Netflix and Amazon Prime and HBO Max are taking chances on series that you probably would have never got in movie theaters. That being said, Ridley Scott did do Prometheus and Alien Covenant, but the last one especially did not do well. And so we're probably not going to get any more in theater unless this somehow jumpstarts it. So this is going to be really interesting.
And it's interesting too because they mentioned the Romulus story, right? You know, like these 2 boys that were raised by a wolf, right? And then one had to destroy the other to become the leader. And that's, I think they were trying to portray that with Paul and
Campion?
Yeah, Campion.
I always want to say Caspian, which is language.
So, you can see like once they came in, like they're friends at first, but then like Campion was jealous that Paul was more talented, or they were like complimenting him or whatever with his math skills and how fast he did. And you start to see a rivalry, rift, but then like they're friends at the same time because they're like brothers and stuff. But now that like Paul took the dark road,
maybe, I mean, he's hearing voices, but it doesn't mean he's taking the dark road yet. And that goes
shot his mom. I mean, even though it wasn't
it's not his mom. Yeah, boy, we got Homelander.
Pretty twisted though, huh?
Yeah.
Because they did kill his parents.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it makes sense.
But and I guess he's so deep into the religion, he'll believe anything a voice tells him.
So let's dig into just the whole idea of, you were talking about traditional mythology that we have, but then let's get into the mythology of this with the Mithraic, where we have a prophecy where an orphan will be the king. We have 3 different people that are kind of hinted at being. We have the father guy. What's his name? Marcus. We have Paul, and
That's funny. I don't remember Campion. You don't remember Marcus.
But so we have those 3 figures that are orphans that could be. Now we have a whole arc coming over that could have orphans as well. But so we have this being hinted at.
I think everyone's orphans on their side.
But then we have this pentagonal or whatever building that is there that seems to be, you know, very intelligently built.
But it looks like the cube that held the robot. Remember like when we just saw the head and was spewing out the milk thing? Remember how it was in that? It's very similar kind of.
He's talking about the dream that the
and then we see the cube. Remember when she's about to give birth, she sees like the cube and she takes off the helmet and all that.
Yeah.
So that I don't know. I think they're just mistaken coincidence for their religion kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think the snakes are eating that up or playing on it.
Well, you see what you want to see. You associate what you want with what you want to see. But there's clearly something going on there.
How did the guard hear a voice?
What's that?
The guard.
The guard here? What guard?
Remember the guy who he had like a helmet on his head because he...
Oh, the rapist guy?
Yeah. He said he heard the voices too and had gone away. But if that happened on a ship...
So that's an interesting thing that I didn't even think about. Is, so if you guys remember, there's this guy that's wearing he looks just like the Black Knight from Monty Python, by the way. He's wearing this helmet with little points on it.
Oh yeah.
I was like the Black Knight is always, and he actually
just a flesh wound.
Yeah, the Black Knight is always triumphant. So he heard voices in space, and the voices told him to go messed up, rape, women that were in hypersleep.
That might also have a story to play maybe in second season when that baby's born or something like that.
Oh, that's right. It's because that baby's still not born. And then so whatever's going on the planet wasn't specific to the planet because it happened on the ship as well. So this makes it very interesting.
It's like super powerful and it was tapped into the systems the whole time.
Oh. or it's something computer based, but you can't make biological
Like
stuff.
program?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's like a being so powerful, like it was like in control of the religion. Maybe the whole thing was, maybe there was another ship that was sent with a snake, and the snake started the religion to get him back.
My honestly, my whole theory, my true theory about this is did you fall off? You were laughing so hard.
No. I snagged it.
My whole theory about this truly is just they're just leaving all avenues open for them to be able to go down,
which is perfect for the internet nowadays.
Well, I mean, just they can decide. All right, what are people reacting to? What are people discussing? And they just go down that route. Yeah. I don't think they have the whole arc of the story written out. I mean, this is me just thinking as far as all right, people aren't just going to sit down and write a script for free. They get paid for that, or at least they get a forward to start the script. And they're not going to write 9 seasons if they know they're not going to get paid for 9 seasons. So
they didn't even do that for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. So my thought is they wrote in these red herrings and MacGuffins, and if they decide to develop these, otherwise bogus ideas.
Like, choose your adventure.
Yeah, it is like a choose your own adventure. But the cool thing is, like Nick said, we have hardcore science fiction that we usually wouldn't get in mainstream theater, and TV in the past did not have the funding to give us this stuff. The effects, should we even get into effects work? We'll get into effects work.
We can do a whole VFX breakdown.
We'll get into effects in a whole other video, but the quality of the effects work is a little bit up and down, but overall, really high quality stuff. We got 9 hours of content.
Would you say it was better than The Witcher?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. But then again, this is a lot more. It's not a rip, but it's a lot more simple stuff. We're talking about like just spaceships that are just kind of
toss a coin
blob.
To your snake. Oh, pits of plenty. Oh, pits of plenty.
All right. So if we start singing, that means we're running out of ideas. So you guys, let us know your theories. This is a variance. There's no comics like in The Boys to maybe lead us to where the story might go. This is really just theorizing.
Just crazy sci-fi.
Just crazy sci-fi stuff. So if you guys have theories or ideas or things that we completely forgot to talk about that you'd like to hear us talk about, put it down in the comments. This is a fascinating one. Again, I really think they just are giving themselves all kinds of avenues to go down. But I'd love to hear it otherwise. So go and leave us comments down below on what you think is going on. If you're looking forward to more seasons or you thought one was enough,
let us know.
Check out AsArt.space for the audio and video links. We'll see you on the next AsArt.